Time. We've got Craig and Stevie here in the studio, and Frank and Don are staying up late to join us and answer your questions.
Well,
Kay, you know what? I'm
sorry,
done well
Kay.
there, Kay. Not to get cancelled.
I
know we are in we're now in a different show, but I went to a wedding. David Douillet, the four times World Cup judo champion. I went to his wedding and I was wearing a kilt, a Scott. Dressing, I don't know what you call that. That was absolutely beautiful. People were jealous of me. They say, wow, that's a great idea. So be proud of your coutumes, Mr. Nichols.
You don't get the point. That's not my point.
The main show today.
You still don't get the point. The point is not
that the
kilt doesn't look beautiful.
Yeah, I got the point. Don't worry.
Thank you, Frank.
Why was he wearing the kilt anyway, old Frankie boy? Why is
he wearing a kilt?
There's a lot of things Frank does that you go, why is he doing that?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Because that's beautiful. But that was just beautiful. Yeah. That was a bet that I made with a guy, a friend of mine, and I loved it because that was so classy.
He got paid for it.
I got married in the kilt, by the way. I got married in the kilt.
Don't try and
backtrack now. Don't try and backtrack now.
You didn't think about football then?
Right.
Stevie, how come you didn't think about football when you married?
Oh, it was.
Okay. Is the current Liverpool squad physically capable of playing Iraola's high-pressing and 100-mile-per-hour style of play? For example, players like Isak and Gakpo aren't necessarily going to run up and down the pitch if needed.
I don't think Bournemouth played at 100 mile an hour, did they?
I mean, they were sharp at the right times. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a bit like the players. If you listen to the players talking about when Klopp arrived, initially they were like, "Wow, how are we going to keep this up?" But once you get used to it, and once you get up to that level, then you get the benefit from it. You know, nothing just falls in your lap. You can't play at a certain pace for 90 minutes unless you train like that and you get prepared properly. So it's going to have to. It'll take time. The key is he's got to win some games while he's getting them in shape to play, if it is indeed 100 mile an hour.
Don, is Arteta under any obligation to sway away from the proven method of relying on set piece and corners and go with the all-out attack approach that everyone expects from his side next season onwards?
No. I think when you look back at that Champions League, I was chatting to an Arsenal fan tonight, and I think there's a tinge of, I said they could be proud of their performance, but at the same time, I thought when you play in a big game like that, a Champions League final, you want to come off the pitch having no regrets. I think there'll be a fair few Arsenal players having quite a few regrets that they didn't do a little bit more, or they didn't try to be more adventurous. You know, trying to defend for, 84 minutes of the game and allow PSG onto them was always going to be trouble. The pride comes from taking them to extra time and losing on pens, I get it. But no, don't change your style. I mean, maybe when they play against the Cities, United's, Arsenal's, Chelsea's, and then into Champions League, maybe they could be a little bit more easier on the eye and convince everyone that they're a good footballing side, because they are. And that's why I go back to the Champions League final. It wasn't like a giant killing of a lower league FA Cup game playing a top Premier League side. It was Arsenal who were a very good footballing side. So I wanted to see them play a little bit better. So to the question, no. If you've got to win by set plays and 1-0 every single week and go back-to-back titles, so be it.
See, this is where some of the people that write in just don't, either they just don't listen or they just don't understand. Or don't want to understand. Nobody has ever, certainly not on this show, that to my knowledge, nobody's ever suggested that Arsenal should play some sort of gung-ho all-out attack football. But to go back, piggyback off what Don's suggesting and what I talked about the other day when I was on with Ian Dark, was you're looking for something in between. They outpossess PSG, but you're not expecting them to have 25-26% possession. You're expecting somewhere in the middle. And possession stats are not everything, but without the ball, you're only doing one other thing, and you're defending. So if you don't have the ball, you're chasing the ball. So nobody has said, oh, Arsenal should be Barcelona, Arsenal should be this. But can there not be a little bit better version on the eye than they are? And people will say, well, they won the Premier League. Yeah, they did. Maybe they'd have won the Champions League as well, had they been a little bit more on the front foot. Maybe they'd have lost by 2 or 3. We don't know, and as Don said, rightly so. I think if I was a player, I'd think, you know, we just gave them too much respect. We sat back and we could have got at them. We could have got at Pacho and Marquinhos. We could have got at them, but we didn't. We sat in, we took our chances, and ultimately it failed.
Stevie, how successful do you think Carrick can now be? He's had a week to prepare for Premier League now. He's had 4 competitions to deal with. Can now be. He had a week to prepare for a Premier League. Now he has 4 competitions to deal with.
Yeah, that's going to be. That's going to be his problem.
So he'd have a whole week to prepare for the games in the Premier League, and now he's got more competitions to deal with.
Coming in at the end of the season. Yeah, this is a different ball game, and he's in a similar position to Iraola. They need players as well. They need to do exactly what Liverpool need to do. They need to bring in at least 3 or 4 who are pushing to start, or at least start. Because if he doesn't, then it's not going to be what we saw between Carrick coming in at the end of the season, winning the majority of games, being stronger pretty much than everybody else, being so sharp on the counter in particular. It's a different ball game when you're playing every 3 days to one every 7 days. So his sporting director, whoever it is going to have to get him some players, because if he doesn't, he's going to find himself in a situation Arne Slot basically was in. He had to play the same players every 3 days, and you can't do that.
Jason Wilcox.
Jason Wilcox, that's the man.
He's got a big...
Yep. Nice left foot he had as well.
Pressure on his shoulders to get the business done.
Don, does Denzel Dumfries start over Trent Alexander-Arnold at Real Madrid?
Yes.
Depends who the manager is.
Mourinho.
I mean, if Denzel Dumfries... Yeah, well, yeah. Denzel Dumfries is one of the best right-backs in the world. Unfortunately, he misses a lot of games every season through injury. So I would imagine if you're signing him, you're going to play him. But where does that leave Trent? So...
I don't think Mourinho...
It literally depends what you want, because Denzel Dumfries... Well, sorry, but Denzel Dumfries, his best position as a wing-back. That's where he's played for the last, 4, 5, 6 years at Inter. He bombs on. He's one of the best wing-backs at getting up and down, getting in the box, getting goals, getting assists, but getting forward. So he can defend, but I'm not sure that's his strength. So then you've got Denzel Dumfries and you've got Alexander-Arnold, who are best suited in different ways. Alexander-Arnold passing from long range, but Denzel Dumfries being a front-footed, right up the top of the pitch wing-back. Depends on what Mourinho wants.
Well, he wants players that can defend, and if he gets the job, which looks likely, I think it's bad news for Alexander-Arnold.
100%.
Bad
Yeah,
news.
but that's not his game, Craig. That's not Dumfries' game. That's not his game. His game's getting forward.
Yeah, but he's better defensively than
Well,
Alexander-Arnold.
what about Carvajal? What about guys? Carvajal is going?
No, he's already left. He left at the end of the season. That was his last year, and he wasn't quite the same, was
Frank,
he?
we landed on the moon.
He wasn't quite.
I don't have the
stuck up
news
for you
from
earlier,
Spain.
Don.
I'm
Don't
sorry,
forget it.
Don.
Done.
Carvajal's a bit like Militao in a way. Stevie was talking about Militao in the main show with all the cruciate injuries he's had, and he's a brilliant defender. But we saw with Danny Carvajal how he was affected with that 8 months out or whatever it was he had. He came back, played some games, was not the same player. Okay, he was in his 30s, and it is more difficult to come back. But he was one of the best fullbacks for a decade plus. But even he wasn't keeping Alexander-Arnold out the side. And listen, Alexander-Arnold's a brilliant player going forward, but
Can't defend.
every coach on the planet knows he can't defend. And when you bring in a defensive coach, as they're going to do with Mourinho, then your time's going to be limited.
For all, but especially Stevie, what's a harder job for a manager? Getting a team of strong talents to deliver at the highest levels, Liverpool, Real Madrid, or getting a team with less resources into top form like Como or Villa?
Or getting the team with strong talents to deliver at the highest level. Yeah, I mean, because all the teams we're talking about, if you're a Real Madrid manager, Barcelona, Liverpool, City, all these teams, not only do you have to win, but you have to do it in a certain way as well. Whereas with a team that doesn't have to win every week, All you got to do is get them together, get them playing for each other, get them organised. You know, all the old patterns of play, all the classic coaching things, and then you galvanise them together, and you'll win games. But when it comes to playing against the best teams, then you'll lose, but you'll stay in your league, and everybody will be quite happy, really. That's a different ball game to you have to be there from start to finish every time you step on the field, 100%.
Last question, Frank. How far will Canada be placed in your World Cup bracket this time?
I don't know. I don't want to say. I wish them the best. Hopefully they can get out of the group stages, but of course it's a different ball game. I don't know. It's going to be very different. It's going to be funny. I think it's not going to be interesting before the last 32. And I'm sorry, the last 32 teams. We're going to start, being serious after those group stages. Before, it's going to be, I'm sorry, something like a joke.
Okay.
No, come on. I don't want any negativity.
Yeah.
No. We're all in.
I don't want any negativity about the opening games of the World Cup from Frank. You know why? That's my job.
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we've got time for.
My job to
latest
kick this World
edition
Cup down the road.
Of ESPN FC.
It's going to be exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back
Fantastic.
tomorrow.